Hello, everyone. It's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to discuss this community post posted by Cynthia G. So let's get into it. Let's discuss what's more traumatic. Is getting a procedure that ends the pregnancy before its time one time. The majority of times, people don't do that one time. More traumatic than risking your life on 3 fronts to even give a male fetus. And last time I checked, they don't check to see if it's a male or female. They just check to see if there's a baby there, and then they get rid of it. Assuming you don't get toe tagged by your baby daddy, and that is another problem, promoting baby daddy and baby mama instead of marriage. Then you get abandoned and left a single mother having to deal with financial and psychological stress that comes with it. You'll be told that you're the reason that you're a single mother and that you should have chosen better or get that procedure by the males in your community who don't even value black children, especially girls. Oh, now it's black children, because black children include black boys and black girls. But then you promote that they should get rid of black male fetuses. And there are exceptions to where there are single mothers that became single mothers not by anything that they did, but just by the circumstances that happened in their lives. But the majority of the times, many women are single mothers. Many of us are single mothers because of the choices that we made in our lives. And when are we going to take responsibility and accountability for the choices that we made and the consequences that we are going through now? Because if you don't take responsibility, you don't take accountability, you're going to keep on doing the same thing over and over again. And then plus many women can't choose better because they don't know how to choose better also. Who's teaching them? Who taught them? Some people learn by trial and error because nobody taught them anything. Anyway, so then you're going to be told that you have no value in the community. And it's like you're going to be told. So your identity is based on, when you have an identity, you could say whatever you want to me. I don't care. I know who I am. But when your identity is based on people's opinions, that's why you repeat what people say, because you have no identity. If you tell me, oh, whatever, something that's contrary to who I am, I don't care. I'm not going to repeat the foolishness you say because I know who I am. But many of us don't even have an identity. Then you're going to be told that you have no value in the community and that you need to take a low-tier man who will likely put hands on you and your child because you have a child and you're not desirable to so-called high-value men. What is a high-value man? If high-value man is only because, somebody with a lot of money, you know how much high-value men, so-called, if it's just for money, that will put hands on you, that will leave you as a single mother, even though he got money, that will put hands on your children. High-value man don't have nothing to do with money, because a high-value man, a real high-value man, may not have money now, but he'll get there because he has the character, he has the morals and the values that's going to take him to get there. And somebody like that, when he do get money, it's going to last. It's not like these high value men with all this money and then they have they have 10, 15 baby mothers. They have all kind of broken homes. Your money won't last. And of course, then there is the resentment that your son will have for you, because the resentment your son will have for you because many mothers coddle their children. Sometimes but the majority of the time, some women don't do this, but majority of times you don't validate your son. You don't affirm your sons. Yes, that was supposed to be the dad's job, and of course he bears the burden of that. But we as mothers, we are the majority caretakers of these children. So most of the time you don't know how to, because he's a boy, you probably don't know how to deal with him. So you ignore him, or you go bend over backwards and try to give him everything he wants and everything you think he wants. And you don't know how to relate to him or whatever. You don't find the help. You don't reach out for help or whatever it may be. And it's the relationship that you have with your son that causes the resentment. It's the relationship. It's the failed relationship, actually. And will have for you, even if he or you don't want him to, because he will be a victim of blackmail culture. He will be a victim of blackmail culture if you raise him to be a victim. Your children will be a victim. Your children will be a statistic if that's how you raise them. Because there are a lot of older women I know that were single, that were left as single mothers, that their children, I mean, have done great things, that have homes right now because they made up in their mind, say, you will not be a statistic. You will not be like your father. I made the choice. I messed up. Yeah, take accountability. And then they did better. And then they saw the fruits of what they did. So if your child becomes a victim, it's because you raised him that way. If he becomes a victim of this blackmail culture, if his behaviors perpetuate that, what the stereotypical black man, then it's because of how you raised him, because we are the caretakers. We are the majority caretakers. Blackmail culture that blames all of the issues that black men create and perpetuate on black women. Black males have their part, black women have their part. We are both responsible for the things that is being perpetuated in the black community. We are both responsible. The black man is responsible in the sense that he does many, not all, have not taken their position as the leader of the family, of their homes, of the community. They have not. The order was supposed to be God first, who is the leader of the man, and the man is the leader of the woman, and everything falls afterwards. But that's not what's happening. There's a breakdown in family. There's a breakdown which causes a breakdown in society. And of course, the woman, everything falls on the woman because we, like I said, we are the majority caretakers. It wasn't supposed to be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way because you were supposed to be a caretaker and a helpmate, not the leader and the caretaker and the helpmate and the doctor and the bus driver and the mental health counselor and all these things. But when you see this is what's happening, that should be more motivation. Say, I need to make sure I know who I'm sleeping with and deciding to have a kid with. And also the man, you are the leader, so you need to choose better also. Because sometimes you don't choose better, and then you end up with this contentious woman that you want to be in your kid's life, but you can't because you don't get along, because the only thing that made you get along was between the sheets. And now you don't want to deal with her, so you don't deal with your children. And now your children are being raised by this woman by herself, who is bitter, who is resentful. What do you think your kids are going to be? So your son will likely hate you despite you working hard to take care of him, and will defend and identify with his absentee father. Just like I said, it's not only working hard, it's more than that to raising a child, to raising children. And not only your son may hate you, your daughter can hate you too. You don't know that? Because you see that little girl right now, whatever, everything is going fine. Your daughter can hate you just as your son can hate you also. He will likely date, damage, and traumatize numerous black, white, and other non-black women if he doesn't toe tag them, and will continue the cycle of black male degeneracy, including being an absentee father himself. It's because that's the way you would raise him if he turns out that way. If I know the stereotypes, if I know the statistics, why would I raise my child to be that way? And also going back to a child identifying and defending an absentee father, that's an ungrateful child. That's an ungrateful child. Why would I raise my child to be? Because we, as humans, we are ungrateful, but we are. You have to be raised to do otherwise, because in us are inherently You don't have to teach a child to do anything bad. It just comes naturally. But that's why children are supposed to be raised so you can do better. I'm going to raise you to be grateful, to appreciate people who are there for you, not people who are not there for you. I'm going to treat you to respect women. If your dad didn't respect women, I'm going to treat you. I'm going to raise you to respect all women, no matter who they are. I'm going to raise you to do better than me. You're going to be better than your father. Why would I raise you to continue those stereotypes about black boys? Where it says in him, your son being an absentee father himself. I remember the pastor once said that, hey, if something happened to you, it doesn't have to happen to your children. You do not have to accept that. And that changed my whole life, because I thought, oh, since this happened to your parent, oh, it's gonna happen to you. Oh, if you were raised this way, it's just gonna. No, she said that that doesn't have to happen to you. You can make another choice. You could go another route. You could choose to go the same route, but you have to put the effort in to go another route so that doesn't happen in your life. So why would I want my child, if doing certain things led me into this life? I'm going to teach my child to do better. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise my child to do better. And she's asking which one of these scenarios are traumatic. And not even scenarios, I've heard some of these things she has discussed on her channel. She just needs to know which one is traumatic. Okay, the first one is traumatic. And what? Then what? What value would that bring to anybody's life? What value does that bring? Does that help the rate of women that are losing their lives? Is it every 5.5 hours or 6 hours? Because it's a debate. What does that bring? What value does that bring? Okay, that one is traumatic. And many women that are listening to this lady knows what she's saying is not right. It's not right. But because she speaks to that pain, and she speaks to their shortcomings, and speaks to their bitterness and resentment from the many choices that people have made in their lives, they go with it. But what value does that bring to our lives when you have women losing their lives? Literally, as I sit here, there's one that is gone. But then we sit on these internets causing a divide. Okay, so you get rid of all the male fetuses, and then there's only women left. Amongst women, you don't like each other. Amongst women, you hating on each other, and you taking out each other. Okay. It's not compared to what the men are doing, but you do to each other. There's so many other things to discuss. Oh, which one is traumatic? Which scenarios is traumatic? Okay. And then what? Every day, every week, every month, every Saturday, every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, whatever. Some people get buried on Sunday. As that song say, 555 balloons in the sky. Every day is balloons in the sky. These balloons, people making all type of money. People who sell balloons, people who make balloons, making all type of money. Because that's how much people are leaving this earth before their time. I don't care what other people say. I don't care what the statistics say, what it was supposed to think of. Old kids from single parent homes. I'm going to raise you to do better. Keep me limb how other people raise their kids. That has nothing to do with me. I'm going to train you in the way you're going to go. And when you are old, you're not going to be, I'm going to train you. It's either I'm going to train you in the way you should go the right way, or I'm going to train you the way you should go in the wrong way. Or I'm just going to let you grow up and don't even check for you. And then you figure it out by yourself. But if a child is trained, well, no matter which way they would go, they're going to make the mistakes. They're going to mess up. But they're going to always go back to where they were trained, where they were raised. How about educating women on how to vet men much better? Because like I've always tell people that, and people are amazed, but they're not shocked, because sometimes a lot of us women were, educated more from higher institution, but then we don't really know a lot of other things in life because people didn't sit down and teach us this. And I'm sitting there and I'm in this shelter and I'm seeing some of these men that you shouldn't even be. You could just say, hi, how you doing? And then the women that they are getting, professional women, educated women. I'm like, wow, these people don't know. A lot of people don't know a lot of stuff. But then, of course, they don't know a lot of stuff because we've, distracting them by, oh, pick the scenario. Which scenario is traumatic? Which scenario is traumatic? And then you lose it in relationships. Not only in intimate relationships, but also in the family. Because if I am working this hard and taking care of you, and you turn around and you trying to defend and identify with somebody that was never there for you, there's a breakdown somewhere, there's a failure somewhere, and I need to figure it out. I need to go and stop cultivating online relationships and cultivate the relationships that are near to me. And I need to take responsibility for the actions and for the choices that I've made, because at the end of the day, you could do whatever you want to do. Everybody could do whatever they want to do, but you don't get to choose the consequences. You don't. Because I remember when I was in the relationship that I was in, before I even was in it, I wasn't even a Christian at the time. God warned me. God sent people to warn me. I remember this older man who was like a father figure to us, because he was a friend of my mother. He told when the guy came to talk to him and say, oh, I like her, and he came and told he told me he likes you. I don't think you should go with this guy. This guy is not for you. But did I listen? No, I did not. I did not listen. And then I paid the consequences. And if I'm alive today, it's only because God graced me to give me life, because I wasn't supposed to be here when that day when he tried to take a vehicle to take me out with my kids. And then God sent. You can't tell me there's no God. When God sent an angel, they stopped within inches of taking us out. But I'm alive today because I recognize, hey, I messed up, God. You told me, you warned me. I take responsibility, but I will never ever make that mistake again. I will never ever make that mistake again. When you warn me, when you send people to tell me, when you give me that intuition, I will never make that mistake again. Not saying I'm never going to make mistakes, but that mistake is certain mistakes you keep on making over and over again because you're not learning nothing. You're not taking responsibility. I started this video from this morning. I couldn't finish it because I had stuff to do. But I guess she's probably finished with her live or whatever because she wanted to discuss this. But come on. It's more important stuff that you could do to educate women. This is what value does this bring to people? Like, all this causes is a division. Because at the end of the day, if the person already having problems with their sons or whatever, and then they read this and say, he gonna be ungrateful. You don't know how people interpret information. That's why you need to be careful where you're speaking from. When you put information out here as somebody who has a voice, you have to be careful, because the Bible even tells you, with bitterness, if you have bitterness, you're gonna defile many. Because when you put it out there, you might think that, whatever. And the person who's on the other end, who's reading this information or who's listening to this information coming from you from a unhealed place most of the time, interprets it in a way that causes more friction, more divide, more tension in their household or in their relationships. Whew, I could say way more stuff, but I got to go. Oh yeah, and I need to address where it says that, oh, they gonna this all this they gonna say, then they'll say, then they'll say women, black women don't have value in the community. When something has no value, it's discarded. Nobody, gives it attention. Nobody checks for it. But when a group of people, a group of women, let's say, is always the subject of conversations and videos, and people use on that community to make money and to go viral, how does that community have no value? You may not, they try to make you think you don't because you don't know who you are, but you got value. You just don't know it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.